No, that's not it.
Yeah.
No, there
Hello?
you go.
Oh, that's off?
Uh-huh.
No, I can hear myself.
I know, but I can't. Let me see.
Hello?
Yeah, I can still hear you.
Okay, hello? Hello?
Yeah.
Well, they both don't work.
Okay. No, they work. What do you want, Rachel?
You've been live for 25 seconds.
Oh,
No.
You're live.
Oh, are we?
You've been live for
Okay.
30
Well,
seconds.
why is it like that? Can you fix it? We are still for real trying to figure it out, but I guess we have it. So, hey, good morning, everyone. Happy Tuesday. We are here at Youth Empowerment with Victorious Voices, making all of the magic happen. Super happy to be back. I was gone for a week. So, my name is Niki Martinez. My pronouns are she, her, we. I'm super grateful to be here, and I am with Arthur Soriano. Say hi, boss.
hello. All of a sudden, I know that I smack my lips. So every time I smack my lips, you can hear. And so we're trying to figure out that process so it doesn't get into the podcast.
Anyway, so we are here. What a quote. I feel like there's just amazing there in the world, and I definitely want to be able to bring them to you guys. So one of the quotes that always stands out to me when I start thinking about things is by Audre Lorde. And so she's a writer, civil rights advocate or activist. She's a feminist who like dedicated her whole life to fighting against injustices of homophobia, classism, sexism, and racism, which is pretty dope. So I used to work for Sister Warriors Freedom Coalition. I'm part of the co-founding existing team with them, and we had an amazing meeting yesterday. And one of the things we had talked about was freedom, and it just really kind of brought in a different light for me because I'm freshly off parole, as we know. Yes, we will talk about that celebratory victory soon. But I think the one thing that really stood out to me is there's a quote that she has, and it's on the back of all of our sweatshirts and our t-shirts and stuff. And it says, "I am not free while any woman is unfree, even when her shackles are very different from my own." And that just really kind of resonated with me, even now being off parole, how free am I really, And I started thinking about like all of our folks that are on the inside and just the different things. I had a couple of different conversations, one with Timothy from Oceanside. He's part of the resilience team, a credible messenger, amazing, amazing, amazing man. And with my folks, Rojas, and it just really started resonating like different things for me about what real freedom feels like and what it looks like, and it's how it's so hard to embrace and adjust sometimes. But we'll get more into that conversation. But I wanted to share that quote because even though I do feel free, I still feel like there's a part of me that feels not free in a really, really big way. So with that being said, I definitely want to send a shout out to our ambassador, one of our amazing, amazing ambassadors, Jeff Henderson. He is phenomenal. If you guys haven't read his book, Cooked, please read it. If you can see it, you can be it is another book that he wrote. I had an amazing conversation with him too about 2 weeks ago, and just he was really, really empowering and encouraging. And he's also a powerful motivational speaker, and just deposits greatness into this world and everything he does. So thank you for being an ambassador for youth empowerment. Thank you for all of the gifts that you're continuously giving us and your blessings, and we greatly, greatly appreciate you. Huh, boss?
Yes. Thank you, Nikki. How you feeling?
How am I feeling? As far as emotionally or physically? Because both. I think my body is still recovering from COVID. I think it's still it's still recovering, definitely still recovering. I feel good. I feel happy. I feel grateful emotionally. And I feel also conflicted, like just really, really conflicted right now in my little journey of uncertainty, with this newfound freedom that I just can't wrap my mind around for some reason. How you feeling?
Physically, I feel a little beat up from the weekend playing football. My back, my legs.
He was out there getting it with them kids this weekend. You guys, if you didn't see it, you need to see it.
And also, like, I have my sunglasses for a reason. I got a little infection in my eye, but emotionally, I feel so peaceful and emotionally excited. And the reason being is that the Transforming Trauma campaign, we're at a high level, high support. I can't disclose any information or who came in to support us just yet, but they came in and supported a foundation. We're able to hire a communication specialist, campaign manager, executive assistants. We're going to be able to train youth to do trainings, put stipends, put monies in their pockets. So we're definitely excited as an organization. But the purpose of this Victorious Voices podcast is to elevate individuals that have been through the system, have experienced trauma. And so today we are highlighting our very own Niki Martinez. I remember this lady, and let's give it up for Niki Martinez.
Hey, just kidding.
She is a very unique, special individual. I remember I met her like 4 months out.
Mm-hmm.
4 months out, we were giving out bikes out there in the park at the beach for kids that are on juvenile probation. She came, she was excited. She wanted to find her niche, right? And that niche was individuals that have been through the criminal justice system or doing things in the community. And that's where we connected. Armand King out of Paving Great Futures. Mm-hmm. He came, hey, here's this lady. She's dynamic. She needs help, support. And so I was like, okay, I felt her energy. She said, I need some work. I need to be a part of something. Mm-hmm. And hey, Niki, just hold on. We got all these different contracts pending. And in my head, I look like they're pending. That's not even for sure, right?
Yeah. I thought he was selling me a dream. I thought he was stroking me with a good one. Like, don't worry, we're coming for you. And I'm like, yeah, okay.
So the process of coming out, being on parole, just 4 months, making a connection, building a relationship. After building the relationship, her first job as a resilience community mentor, always showing at the table, right? Because you got to pass this background with probation, the organization. Sometimes that can get a little complicated, right? In particular, if you're on parole. But being that she was at the table every time, there was a meeting, things to talk about, background checks, what did it look like? Hey, Niki, this is happening. Boom. She was present.
This was the crazy thing, though. So I had another job. I was working at the shipyard, of course, because that's where they want to slave labor punk us into doing is the shipyard. So that's where I ended up going. And I would literally dip out of work when I knew that you guys had like an important meeting. And like I always tell people too, I'm like, I didn't have a chair at the table. Like I brought my lawn chair. I showed up. Like I wasn't invited to some of those meetings, but I made it a point to show up because I knew that was my life's purpose. And I knew that that's what I knew. I knew I didn't get out just so that I could be working on some shipyard, you know?
Yeah. And that's powerful. You need to be at the table because if not, you're going to be at the menu. Yeah. She was constantly at the table. Yeah. So being present, her process, right? Resilience mentor, the BSEC contract came. We enrolled her as a participant of the Board of State Community Corrections Grant, Adult Reentry Community Mentors. Mm-hmm. And then okay, her process start. A few months after that, we hired on as a case manager, right? Mind you, this is probably about a year and some change already that she's on parole. Yep. And, she's telling me like, I'm on 7 years parole.
7.
How did that feel?
I hated it. I'm probably gonna get emotional, so I'm gonna apologize now, you guys, because it's really crazy. I think what I'm going through and I'm trying to process. But I think from being confined in that system for so long, and then I remember when I first got out, the first parole agent that I had, I was like, "Is there anything that I can do to get off sooner?" And he was like, no, your crime happened in 94. He goes, there's nothing you can do, no matter what the law, the law is the law. It's 7 years, no matter what. Instilled in me that I was going to do that whole 7 years, and even when I had probably 2 or 3 different parole officers after that, and it was the same thing reciprocated to me. And I didn't know if it was because of the year, the crime, the sentence. I had no idea what it was that was keeping me so contained to that number, but I realize now, as I'm thinking and trying to let my mind expand, how seriously contained and constricted that having that on me felt.
And
know?
I had to kidnap Nikki a few times, like to the Ramona Estates at a resort because it was local, right?
Yeah, he's like, hey, we're gonna go to a resort, and I'm like, is it in county? Is it in San Diego County? Because if it's not in San Diego County, I can't go. I'm sorry, I'm not leaving the county. I love you, boss. I want to roll with you guys. We need things to figure out, but I'm not just gonna be rolling outside of San Diego County.
So that process, it gets super complicated. And I'll be honest, like, we're an organization of lived experience. We hire individuals with experience, gang leaders, on parole,
Yes.
whatever that looks like.
Yes.
And we have went through some challenges because of that.
Yeah.
Because of Nikki being on parole.
Mm-hmm.
And you know who I'm talking about. You guys know who I'm talking about. If you listen to this podcast,
yes.
You were non-supportive, straight up.
Yep,
that's just the way it is.
Yes.
But when you feel the love and you feel other organizations embrace us because of our lived experience and our value of what we bring to the table,
yeah.
That's powerful.
Yeah.
And that's what Niki Martinez brings to this table. So being through this process and going through parole, and you thought you were going to get out in 7 years. Mm-hmm. There's other individuals, lifers, they're getting off parole. They're giving you the good news. Hey, I'm getting off.
Yeah.
And Nikki's like, she's like, what about me?
Yeah. At first I was just like, because there was a couple of my friends that are up in like Northern California, and they're like, I got off early. And I'm like, congratulations. And they were like, you should try. And I'm like, there's no way. They've been telling me already since I've been out, like, it's not going to happen for me, So I didn't know for sure, like, what was going to happen. I really did just kind of sit down with it. I kind of just accepted my fate, my reality. I think what happened was in my own heart and in my own spirit, I really didn't care, because I knew no matter what, I was doing the right thing. You know what I mean? And that's that systemic freaking container that they keep us in, and for me, unfortunately, I got to the point to where I made myself okay with asking for permission to leave the county. I went to Chicago to go see my dad. I went to Alabama to go to the National Peace and Justice Centers, to go see Brian Stevenson's museum out there, which was absolutely, and I want to say this, let me just say this. Anybody that has ever been formally incarcerated or ever impacted by the system, if you ever get a chance to go to Alabama and you get a chance to go see Brian Stevenson's museum and the things that they have set up there for I'm trying to think, I can't think of it right now. It will come to me though, but it is a phenomenal place in allowing us to have an opportunity to experience what we have gone through for so many hundreds of years as people that are formally incarcerated, and finding out what almost liberation, because I can't even say liberation at this point, but almost liberation looks like, So anyway, saying all that to say, I have had the experiences of being able to travel and leave the county and leave the state. But again, I had to make myself be comfortable and okay with asking for permission. And now I see even more so how much of a deterrent it was for me to travel, because there was a piece of me that became okay and comfortable with asking for permission. But there was also a piece of me that just didn't even want to have to go through the hassle of submitting all of my paperwork to Sacramento to ask for permission so that it can either come back yes or no. And the thing was, it's like,
we already do too much paperwork
already. It's too much, man. It's too much. The demands, I tell you, the demands. And then I think it's like waiting for them to hit me back with, like, is that a good enough reason for me to travel? You know what I mean? Or are they going to tell me no? And then the other inconvenient part of it was like trying to tell my dad, like, I can probably come these days, but I have to wait to get permission. And then we all know, anybody that's been affected by the system knows that nothing comes back until the 11th hour, right? That's anything. That's your ducket, that whatever it might be. You're going to find out that the hour before you have to be somewhere, that's where you need to be. And it's like, that's what they would do with my clearances. It's like, I would wait till the 11th hour and then they would say, oh, you're approved. So now I had to get an immediate plane ticket. I had to figure out where I was going to stay. Like, it's just really, really inconvenient. It's life detouring and altering when you have the system on you that way.
So
you know?
you have a system from a young age at 17 years old.
Mm-hmm.
Now you're part of that system induced trauma. You're in a women's prison.
Mm-hmm.
You're going through your process from what you told me, your narrative. You have all these built up anger. Then 10, 15 years down the road,
Yeah.
something clicks. You have your moment and you starting your process.
Yeah.
Right. But now you're like living this direction moving forward and everything's faith for you.
Yeah.
And believing because you got a 45-year to life sentence.
Yeah.
So, you're just like faithful, like,
Yeah.
I'm going to get that date. I'm going to get that date.
No.
I forgot that cry that you guys did in there.
Let me tell you, I'm next. I'm next for all my juvenile offender committee girls. I'm next. All my girls are coming home. All my girls, all my people, everybody. I'm next. Don't forget it. But that wasn't even it. Like when I started changing, I didn't think that I was ever going to come home. I really was just tired. First of all, I of course wanted to honor my victims and my victims' family and everybody that I had harmed. It was because of that awareness of what it is that I had done and what I had taken that made me want to change and be different. And so as a result of that, I just didn't know how to do that, especially in an environment when we're doing nothing but perpetuating violence, harm, drugs, alcohol, the whole everything that none of us should be enduring in the first place.
A pool of trauma. Unresolved trauma.
Yes. And it perpetuates, and the staff don't do nothing but help perpetuate that and influence that and encourage that. And so I had got to the point to where I knew that I wanted to do something different. And that's what made me start JOC with my three other girls that are phenomenal. And
what is JOC?
So JOC is for the Juvenile Offenders Committee. It's a organization that's peer ran. It was created by us residents inside of the institution. Me, Jasmine Brandel, Liz Lozano, and Amy Priesmeyer came together as a unit, and we found out that people out here in California were writing a bill for SB, at the time it was SB 9, and it was for juvenile LWOPs. For the girls that were getting ready, the girls that had LWOPs, and they wanted to change the sentence for anybody that was under the age of 17 at the time of their crime. And it was at the time Miller versus Alabama was going on. That's when Brian Stevenson was having these other things happen at Initiate Justice. That's what it's called. And so it started like moving hope inside of the institution.
Wow.
Like we started realizing like, man, maybe there's a good chance that we could get out of here, And so we created an organization and we started moving.
How did that hope look like, not only for you, but your girls, your ladies that you were incarcerated with? What did it look like? What did it feel like?
I can't even, I mean, I tell people all the time, like, I know what it feels like to live without hope. And I know what it feels like to live with hope. Right. And it was because of this bill that didn't even pertain to me at the time, that completely changed. I was super depressed, like idolizing, having the suicidal idolizations. I remember calling my mom one time and just sitting on the floor in the day room and just crying and just being like, it's not that I can't do this no more. It's that I don't want to. I don't want to do this no more. Like, I don't have to. I don't have to live the rest of my life out in this world right here, stuck in this prison. I don't.
Wow.
And
then that resilience just kicked in.
It kicked in. It did. It kicked in. And then I realized, like, maybe I can't go home, but at least I can watch my girls go home.
Wow.
Yeah, at least I can watch my girls go home. And I seen the changes in their life, in their breath. Like when you see somebody change the way they breathe because they have hope on the horizon, man, I'm telling you, they ain't nothing more rewarding than that for me,
And you guys then started changing together.
Yeah, we started changing together.
And feeding off one another.
Yeah.
That's powerful.
Yeah.
That's definitely powerful. So now you're going through this process. Mm-hmm. There's hope.
On the horizon.
Hope on the horizon.
Yeah.
You get this board date. This
Yeah.
is your first time
First time.
coming to the board.
Yes. Mind you, people, I have like almost five C file, about 4.5 C files. And for anybody that knows what a C file is, a central C file, one of them is probably about this big, and it's all paperwork about all the bad things and the most horrific human being that you are. I had 4.5 of them bad boys. They were serious.
I'm getting inside information, y'all. I get this from Crystal, from individuals that have popped up and been with her, and they'll come into the office and you don't remember me when I was your celly, and Nikki's like,
what?
And then you're a little bad cookie, like
I
you're
was not
getting involved in all kinds of stuff.
Yeah.
But that's how we deal with trauma.
Yeah, exactly.
So that board date.
Yeah. I went, there was a big piece, there was about this was the thing, I was very confident in the woman that I had become in the last probably 5 years I was there. And I think because of that, I felt good with, I remember I was standing in the canteen line with Autumn, and she's coming home soon. Yes, she's coming home soon.
She's next.
Yes, she's next.
She's next.
She's next. I was standing in the canteen line with Autumn, and I remember like one of the girls was going off in the canteen line. She was like, "I'm so sick of this place, blah, blah, blah." She started going all rampant, she's like, she wanted to fight everybody. She was like, "F these bees," and all this and all that or whatever. And then Autumn had went over there and had kind of like calmed her down a little bit, and so the girl was just mad. She was just upset. And so Autumn had said, and she had asked the girl, like, "Don't worry, like you're leaving soon. Like, don't even worry about nothing." Like she was like short, getting real short, right? Short and shitty. That's what they get, short and shitty. So she was getting short and shitty. She was mad. She was in this canteen line. It's 110 degrees outside, whatever, right? So Autumn had said something to her, and she's like, and I had just got done telling Autumn, like, I'm fine with being here. Like there's nothing I can do. So I'm fine with being here. And she had said, "You're just saying that because you're going to go to board and you're going to go get this date." Right. And I'm like, "No, I don't know that. I'm hoping that, but I don't know that these people, I messed up for the first 15 years. I got 10 years of good stuff up underneath my belt, but the first 15 were ratchet, And so anyway, she had told the girl, "Hey, so ask Niki ask Niki if she wants to go home. Like, you want to trade places, right?" And the girl was like, "Niki, you want to go home?" And I'm like, "If I do, I do. And if I don't, I don't." I'm very okay with being here. And then they both went off on me and they were like, What do you mean? Like, get out of here already. And I'm like, I had gotten to the point, my mom had made a comment to me one time when I was in there, and she had said something along the lines of, "Niki, if you come home unhappy, miserable, tired, angry, upset, you're going to be stuck with yourself and you're going to bring all that crap out here with you. And so the people that you're around are still going to be affected by your negative spirit." Right? She goes, "You have to be to the point to where you are comfortable, so comfortable in your skin to where if you were going to sit in a box for the rest of your days, you would be okay." And I had finally gotten to that point right before I had got out.
Wow.
Where I was just okay with everything. So when I went to board, there was a big piece of me that thought, like, I'm probably going to get this date, because I was comfortable and confident in who I had become as far as my change.
Confidence kicked in.
Yes. But there was another piece of me that also functioned from a place of regret, from a place of pain, a place of humility, and believing, do I really deserve it? Right? Because somebody lost their life. You know what I mean? And that resonated with me stronger than anything else. The amazing part of it is that through my process and through my transition, I have been forgiven by my victim's family.
Wow.
And that in and of itself was probably about 90% of my fuel to become a better human.
And Niki, look, I'm getting emotional just talking about it, but look at that family, like that forgiveness that they gave you. And look at you coming out and doing all the beautiful things that you're doing, working with youth, individuals, and family, and bringing healing and resilience, and you name it.
Yeah.
That's beautiful.
That's why I'm home.
That's why you're home.
Yeah, that's why I'm home. Like, I feel like if I wasn't doing everything that you have provided me a privilege and opportunity to do, like I really feel like my freedom would be in vain. Like I can't imagine me coming home 20 years sooner so that I could be on some shipyard or I could be working in some warehouse, like that wasn't it. Like I have to do anything and everything I can to honor John and Deanna first and foremost and that family, and do whatever I can to make amends for the harm that I caused. And if I can prevent it from happening or do intervention in some way, right? Or and then the other side too is, of course, I want our folks to heal from the trauma that they've been enduring their whole lives, And if I can play a part in helping somebody heal, then I feel like that's a better purpose for my life.
Wow. So now you're at the board.
Now I'm at the board. There I am.
Each board member makes a different decision, if I'm correct.
Mhm.
So how many board members have to agree for you to be released?
So I had to go before two board members present at the time who both found me suitable. Then you wait for 120 days and your paperwork goes before the all of the California Board of Prison Hearings. And I believe at the time, it was 12 or 13 of them. So they all have to sign off on it and they all have to concur that your level of insight, your level of remorse, your I was just talking to William, one of our brothers that was fresh home. Welcome home, William Ortega. Happy you're out, bro. Who just did 28 years. We were just talking about that yesterday, and how, with lifers, we have to have a relapse prevention plan. We have to have a drug and alcohol relapse prevention plan, a relationship prevention plan. You have to have a budget. You ain't even making 8 cents an hour inside, but you have to come home with a budget and make believe and pretend what it is that you might be estimating to make, what you're going to use, how you're going to budget that money, what you're going to use for groceries, gas, car insurance. Like I went to board with that. I had all of that stuff. And so anyway, saying all that just to say the commissioners, all 12, 13.
What was your budget in there?
Oh, I don't remember now. But I have a whole budget that I made up that I was going to come home and have and spend. Okay,
because we're trying to triple that budget right here at Youth Empowerment.
I'll take it. Yes. Yeah. So I had to do all that. And I'm very grateful that I had to do all that. But I feel like the psychological torture for the last 3 years as I was preparing for board to get all of that paperwork ready is so intense to where I can't even articulate how psychologically just torturous it is to prepare for a board hearing, to get the right words right, to make sure that you write your victim's letter right, to make sure that you don't say anything offensive, to make sure that you're very much aware of your triggers and your responses and how you're going to react to life. And then you go back and you just do it over and over and over. And I had got so obsessive with it. Anyway, okay, fast forward back. Okay, and the commissioners sign off on your stuff after 120 days, and then you wait the last 30 days for the governor to sign off on your stuff.
Oh, so when you went to that board meeting, you still had to wait?
Yeah.
Another 30 days?
Yeah, I had to wait 150 days.
Oh, because I've heard of other individuals, they get suitable that same day.
No, I got suitable that day.
Okay.
But I still had to wait 120 days for the commissioners to sign off on it, and then the last 30 for the governor to sign off on it.
Okay, so that day you got found suitable.
I did.
Okay, so how did that feel?
Oh, look, I want to say something so bad. I was there. So the thing that I thought, the thing that I thought was going to hold me up was my confidentials. And that's exactly what my attorney had said, that, you know what, if anything's going to happen, it's going to be because of your confidentials, because they were so recent. Right. And I was like, dang, okay. So as the commissioner was talking and she was reading the findings back to me of what was happening, my attorney kicked me up underneath the thing and she was like, "You're gonna get it." And I'm like, this lady, get it together, lady. Like, she's acting more happy than me, And as I'm sitting there, and it was really crazy because I was actually so coherent. I've talked to so many people that have been in hearings when they've been found suitable, and it's like they lose their coherency or something. I was so coherent and present in what it is that this commissioner had to tell me, because I felt like I had sat there and I had for 4 hours divulged everything and anything as far as my being. I went in there and I gave them everything, like everything. So it was like it was really I
Wow,
was
there's no time limit. Oh
no.
wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah, no. I was in there for 4 hours, and I wanted to hear what they thought and how they felt about everything that I had shared. So I was really, really present. And when she said that they had no reason to deny me, I was so relieved, like
Wow.
so relieved. And there was a piece of me that was thinking, like, no way, no way, like I'm really gonna get out of here.
Wow, I get angel hugs.
Yes,
Just
I'm
hearing that.
really gonna get out of here. Um, yeah, it blew me away. And I remember I came out, and Autumn and Baby Liz were waiting for me, and they were just like, "What happened?" And I dropped to my knees, and I was like, "I got it. Like I'm going home. Like no way, I'm going home."
Whew. I'm getting emotional, y'all.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. So, and then I waited, I waited. I think I waited 140, like 2 or 3 days, something like that. I had an inside scoop. Somebody ended up telling me, one of the staff members ended up telling me that my stuff had came back, and that they declined action, so they weren't gonna take any action, which means they weren't gonna take the data away from me. But they were like, you're not gonna know for another like 2 or 3 days. And I was like, no way. And then it was like, once I found out, I had like 48 hours to get everything ready. And then, so the crazy thing is, when I got out, I was thinking like, how am I going to do this? Right. Because it was going to be such short notice. I already knew, like I said, the 11th hour was going to happen. So people had 48 hours to figure out how they were going to get all the way up to Chowchilla. Right. So I had my, she's like my sister, Baby Liz. Her dad lives right there in Chowchilla. And then I was meeting Dodie, Jade, and Rojas. They were picking me up halfway so that I could spend my time going down with them. Dolores Cornales, I love your soul. Jade Amato, I love you. And Rojas, you already know. Yeah, they went. It was so crazy at the last minute. They went up there to go get me and drive me all the way down here. And then I met up with my family, and they took me the rest of the way to San Diego.
Wow. So came in at age of 17.
Yep.
Did 27 years.
25.
25 years.
Well, 2 more years on parole.
Two more years on parole
yeah.
equals 27 years.
Yeah.
Went in as an angry young lady.
Yes.
Tearing it up everywhere, whatever you could think of,
Yep.
Niki was a part of.
Mm-hmm.
Went through a process, suitable for parole, blessed with that date, comes out here about to get off parole, gets off parole in 2 years.
Yeah.
2 years and 1 month, 2 years, right?
Yeah.
2 years. She's doing what she loves to do
Mm-hmm.
as an organization, as her work. She's about to buy a house.
Yeah, I am about
I
to
think
buy
that's her bigger stress right now.
It is, man. That has me ripping my hair out. Buying this house is, man, makes me want to punch myself in the face because I can't take it out on nobody else. So I'm just gonna be like,
It's a competitive market, right? The bids are high, market's high. Niki's coming in strong, but little does she, it's a process, and that's something that she's dealing with now. Life, right?
Yeah.
Being on life terms,
Yeah.
bills, car payments, insurances, et cetera, et cetera. So very, very proud of you, Niki.
Thank
and
you.
and you know, like, you're someone I love, I respect, I trust. We're moving this movement forward,
Mhm.
and we're doing it in a victorious way.
Yeah, for sure. One thing I want to say, for all of my people that, my pronouns. Somebody asked me the other day, why are your pronouns she, her, we? First of all, I ask that you guys really, really honor and respect people's pronouns, because it is a form of compassion, and it is a form of sharing love and respect and valuing humanity. And so with my pronouns, it's she, her, we. And I said, my pronoun with we, I actually got it from Amy. Amy, I love you too, sis. Because, I stand in the gaps for not just myself, but for people that are formerly incarcerated, for our folks that are on the inside. Like when I say we, I use it as an empowerment to bring, not just, I don't stand alone, I stand with my people. And it's very, very important. And I say that to say, we go through so many struggles. And I know that, especially for our folks that are coming home that have done such a long time. I think of, as I was talking with Timothy from Oceanside the other day, about how, because he had asked me too, he was like, how's it feel, sis? Like you're free, And I'm like, it's so much residue there though, from the system and from just the containment and the mental entrapment that we have, and how we're so conditioned, and the things that we endure, and our mental and emotional and psychological challenges that we face from somebody that has experienced the system, And I say that to say, I say we, and I say all of that to say that, like, just knowing that we are not alone is the most important thing, and understanding that our traumas are real, and our mental and our emotional and our psychological experiences are really real, and they're really, really relevant. And how we show up for each other is so important, because nobody gets us but us. Nobody gets us like us, and nobody's going to come for us but us, And I feel like with that, I think of how free I feel, and I still, even at this point, I still cannot even wrap my mind around the true concept of what this freedom feels like, because I still feel so conditioned in that entrapment, in that enslaved type of mentality, almost, to where it's like, can I? Should I? Do I? How can I? Like, and it's that conditioning that dampers our spirit and dampers our ability to have hope and to experience true freedom and liberation in some way, shape, or form. So I wanted to share that, because when I was talking with Timothy the other day, it just really kind of resonated with me in our connection, and how we would have both experienced that. And then he had said, I didn't do as much time as you, and I'm like, with that, it doesn't matter though. System induced trauma is just that. It's trauma. Whether you was there for a day or a strip out, it doesn't really matter. You experience that, and there's still an element that creates and alters your being inside after experiencing that. So
I had the same conversation with Timothy. We had an early breakfast, and we just had just true, real conversations.
Yeah.
And that's what community mentors, also known as credible messengers, are.
Yeah.
This is a lifetime. We need to help support one another.
Yes.
And communicate and elevate and
Yes.
uplift one another and be there for one another, because of all the system induced trauma that we've experienced. Thank you, Nikki.
You're welcome.
You have an ending quote?
You know it. I'm coming with some quotes.
All right.
Okay. All right. So, guys, for joining and putting up with me. I apologize. This is what you guys get today. You're welcome, world. Just kidding. So the closing quote that I have is that we all make mistakes. We have struggles, and we even regret things in our past. But what I want you guys to know, that you are not your mistakes. You are not your struggles. And you are here now with the power to shape your day and your future. And even for us that are restricted, even for us that have things that are overpowering us, we still have the power of our mind and the power of our spirit and the power of community and support. And so with that being said, I want you guys to know, thank you guys, all of our Facebook families, for watching. Thank you guys for being just involved and dedicated to what it is that we do. For your love and your support is absolutely amazing. We appreciate you guys, and we're here bringing victorious voices, and we hope to see you guys next week. Have a good week.
Peace. That was good.
Okay.